The pointlessness of Brexit. My name's Mike Cashman. In this video, I'll talk to you about the pointlessness of Brexit and how this has been shown up in an article by a Brexiter this week in the Times. First of all, a little word about the channel. Brexit's a trick, not a treat. Dozens of you have been subscribing lately, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. I haven't ever asked for financial subscriptions to the channel. It's because I'm not churning out a video every day or every week necessarily, just when I've got something specific to say. But what I do hope is that you'll buy my satirical books. These are great Father's Day presents, by the way. Brexit's a trick, not a treat. Full Brexit musical. Brexit's a musical trick. And the COVID account in parody verse, I don't beg pardon. I'm talking bollocks from the Rose Garden. And you can get the music on CD or on USB. By the way, I make nothing at all from this. All the profits from the sale of books and CDs go to coronavirus charities. One further little update, given that the most common purchase of the books is to buy all three together, or all three books and the music, then we are bringing out, this is a mock-up, but it will be coming shortly, Britannia Waives the Rules. Because we do have a song, Britannia Waives the Rules. So that's the collected works of all those together, if you want them all in one volume. But at the moment, buy the individual books for Father's Day. Right. Pointlessness of Brexit. Now, there's this great article by a journalist called Ian Martin, a strong Brexit supporter. And he opens up with, the question Brexiteers used to fear most during the referendum was short and simple. What EU regulations do you want to drop and or diverge from as a result of doing Brexit? In other words, why do you want to do Brexit? And this article is touching in its naivety. It's worthy of a Dominic Raab. I never realised the significance of the English Channel. Because he says, all Brexiteers used to dread that question. Boris Johnson used to get in a fine old muddle confusing EU regulations with gold plating of them by the UK. Johnson, of course, was the arch muddler of the message when he was in Brussels. But let's just try thinking back to those negotiations. Now, this is not hindsight. I can defend myself against the charge of hindsight by referring to things that I've blogged at the time. But I just want to imagine what was going on in those negotiations. Now, we have to assume that the British side had some idea of what they were doing, had some understanding of the devastation that they were wreaking by the deal that they were agreeing. And I'm not saying that they understood it in quantitative terms, because they hadn't done an impact assessment. They were trying to shut their eyes and ears to the actual quantity of the damage, but they must have understood in principle what sort of damage they were doing. Now, I don't know because I wasn't in the room, but I imagine a conversation that went something like this. So, from the EU side. So, we could save you an awful lot of bother if you agreed to align with EU food standards. UK. No. Oh, well, why not, may we ask? Because we want to diverge. Ah. So, in what ways might you want to diverge? We don't know. Can you give us an example? No. Why not? Because we haven't worked out what they are yet. So, in that case, why is it that you want to diverge? Oh no, they're asking the question that we can't answer. We want to diverge because we said we would. And so, have you got any idea of what advantages that will give you? No, but after this is over, we're going to hire somebody who's going to work out what those advantages are. And at this point, I think the EU negotiators have to go off and lie down in a darkened room and reflect on the cumulative effects of mad cow disease on the English psyche. So, further on in Ian Martin's article, which, by the way, is called How the Brexit Dividend Can Become Reality. In the next few months, we'll see whether the government can turn aspirations into hard policy. The lodestar should be obvious, the speedy vaccine response. hang on, that the vaccine response could have been done without Brexit. There was nothing to do with Brexit. What does he say next? That was not down directly to Brexit. Ah, okay. So your prime example of how Brexit has helped is something where Brexit had absolutely nothing to do with it. But the real best bit of the article is this. Number 10 appears to realise that at some point, opponents and voters will start asking when the Brexit dividend is going to turn up. So pro-EU people have been banging on the door, shouting from the rooftops, saying, what on earth are the Brexit benefits? You haven't got any. And as it were, inside number 10, Ian Martin is saying, you know what? Sometime people are going to start asking when those Brexit benefits are going to turn up. No shit, Sherlock. You noticed. You really couldn't make this up. So the thing is, there's investigation going on now as to what the Brexit benefits could be. Boris Johnson he's started a task force, and hey, people are creative and energetic and will come up with something. You say to them, we're up shit creek without a paddle, what can we do? They'll put their minds to it. Well, you could paddle with your hands in shit creek. You could rip a plank out of the boat and use that as a paddle. Yeah, they will come up with ideas, but nothing can change the history that the Brexit negotiators went through that whole palaver, rushed it through and did a bad job, but did that whole thing and concluded the agreement without knowing what it was for. Because they started the process of trying to work out what Brexit was for in 2021 after the negotiations were completed. Now, inexperienced negotiators say, well, okay, we didn't get everything we want in the first deal. Didn't cover financial services or services at all, actually. Never mind, we'll have further negotiations and we'll get what we want then. Experienced negotiators know that what you do is that you seek to include everything that's significant in the initial deal. Did we hold all the cards? Did they want us more than we need? Did they need us more than we needed them? Well, maybe on a trade deal, they were keen to get the trade deal. They've got it. We haven't got that lever to work anymore if we're trying to get financial services included. Wouldn't it have been more sensible to put everything into a comprehensive trade deal? Look, the UK has negotiated Brexit without any idea of what the point of Brexit was. And all the scrabbling around will not change the fact that Brexit has been delivered without anybody understanding anybody involved in it understanding what the point of Brexit was. UK, nul point. Well, just to explain that rebranding, by the way, a little bit more, that I mentioned at the start, I have, and you can buy them for Father's Day, for example, these separate books, Brexit's a Trick Not a Treat, Brexit's a Musical Trick, I Don't Beg Pardon, and more recently Lord Tory has expressed his views in 2021 on YouTube on what's going on. And as I say, people have tended to buy all three books together. So, given that Brexit has happened, what we're concentrating on now is the theme of Britannia waives the rules. So this whole palaver is a story of Britain breaking the rules that apply to other people, not to us, whether as a country or as an individual. And so rather than having separate YouTube channels, as I have done for Brexit's a Trick Not a Treat and I Don't Beg Pardon, separate Facebook pages, then we're going to take the basic page and rename it as Britannia Waives the Rules. It's making the same points that Britain shouldn't be trashing its international obligations, being deceitful to other countries and to the electorate about Brexit and COVID. But this is a way of concentrating the message because there's no real point in maintaining 2 YouTube channels. This one has got 1,200 subscribers and growing. There's only about 200 subscribers on the I Don't Beg Pardon channel. So we're going to have one single channel. Britannia waives the rules, and shortly you will be able to buy the collected works in 1 volume. But you can get them on their own at the moment. You can buy the music CDs with more than 20 of the songs sung by really good singers. You can get them on USB as well, and all the profits go to coronavirus charities. So whether it's a present for your father, whether this is stuff that he would readily agree with and enjoy hearing the music of, or whether you need to educate him, or it's a present for you or a present for somebody else, please, as I say, please do buy the books, buy the music on CD or USB, and subscribe to the channel, and you will see the name changing from Brexit's a Trick Not a Treat to Britannia Waives the Rules. Same message, same values, truth in politics, honesty, competence, integrity, but bringing the name perhaps up to date and combining all these into a single channel. I hope you find that's a good idea. I might have some more specific playlists, and if you've got any comments about that, please let me know. Put your comments into the video below. Thank you. One little historical footnote for students of the project management process. As it happens, the idea that you should have a clear view as to what you're hoping to get out of the project, the outcome and the benefits, is something that I proposed to the government project management method back in 1991, and I was then a member of the technical committee for the government's project management method. And that suggestion was eventually implemented in their guide to program management in 1994. I'm not saying that my intervention was crucial. I didn't have a ringside seat in the process of how that was drawn up, and the work of the technical committee had by then been outsourced to external companies, so we didn't have volunteers like me anymore. So I may have had nothing to do with my suggestion, may not have necessarily have had anything to do with it, but the idea that you should be clear about what it is that you're trying to do and what benefits you want to get out of it before you set about doing it, which seems like plain common sense, is certainly not a new idea, and incidentally is absolutely enforced, for as I've found when helping to eradicate Ebola in Sierra Leone and work in Kenya, Ethiopia, Sudan, so on, Syria, is absolutely enforced for UK aid money used overseas. But we can manage to throw out all these rules when it's a UK project with the government and the cabinet marking their own homework, as we've seen on COVID as well as on Brexit. Okay, little final thought. Thank you.